In Pakistan, a 19-year-old girl, school teacher rather, was burnt to death after she refused a marriage proposal. The victim's family has blamed the school's principal for her murder. They say she was tortured and burned by 5 men. Her family says the principal wanted her to marry his son, who was already married. Now, for more on this story, we're joined by Farwha Nielsen, who is a cross-cultural mediator helping victims of violence and a human rights activist. We really appreciate your time this evening, Farwha. Now, just firstly, on this particular story in Pakistan, what goes through your mind when you hear of a killing like this?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to comment on this issue, which is an issue at my heart. I deal with these issues every day. Of course, the first thing that goes in my mind, it doesn't surprise me because these killings often happen in these countries, Pakistan, Afghanistan and India, without most of them not being even reported. And my thought goes to this young woman and her family for suffering so much.
So, I mean, as you say, it's perhaps not surprising that this sort of story comes out of Pakistan. We know it's a patriarchal society, but it's a shocking story nonetheless. How do organisations like yours go about developing change, particularly in cultures with honour-based violence?
Well, I think we have to deal with it in different societies from different angles. In Pakistan, this has to be looked at from different perspectives. First of all, Pakistan is a fairly poor country. The level of education is low. And I think the major problem, as I see it as a human rights activist, is that, and a feminist all my life, is that because these killings are not taken seriously by legislations, by law, by the police, these women are very, very vulnerable. Normally, if we are threatened by somebody, we go to the police, to the society to protect us. And most of the time, these women don't get these protection from the legislations, from the legal system, from the police, because everything is, everybody condones these killings. There is no honor in killing women. It's a human rights perspective. It's not just a gender issue. In Denmark, we've been quite successful. We've had an honor killing, which one of the victims were Pakistani background. The legal system and the police took it extremely serious and punished 9 people from, especially even the taxi driver that drove the killer, the brother, to kill his sister. So we took it very seriously, thereby sending a message to the communities that here in Denmark, we respect Danish laws and we respect human rights. Women are to be equal to men. We, of course, respect the rights of whole family, not just women. And the police have been working constructively. I've had the pleasure of working with the Danish National Police and different local police. And I've had the pleasure of designing a cross-cultural method that we have actually successfully used in protecting these victims from their own families.
So obviously, you know, you are in a country that's progressive. Denmark is an incredibly progressive country, especially in terms of women's rights. But what about for countries like Pakistan? I understand, you know, you work with cross-cultural education. I can understand that it's not just about the education of women, but it's perhaps more so the education of men in order to develop women's rights from the ground up. What are other ways to really harness women's rights in these countries, especially if legislation isn't really taken any notice?
Well, there are many answers, I'm sure, to this question, but the way I see it, I think we should work at it at macro, medium and micro level. At the macro level, we need to, government need to take this, the state need to take this seriously. And these perpetrators, these horrid men that really, and women as well, must be punished, and the police must take it seriously. So at macro level, we need the country to take these killings very seriously. At the medium level, we need to work with the NGOs and especially religious organizations through argumentation that these killings are not Islamic. neither humanistic or Islamic. So we need the Islamic organizations to condemn these honor killings and to condemn these killings, and in the mosques and different organizations talk about it and try to preach and try to reach men as well as women to change their perspectives on this. And again, at micro level, at village level, or perhaps at local level and family level, we need to raise the consciousness of women and family members, to educate them about these issues, because honor killing is just not an issue. It will be misunderstanding if we just understand it from a perspective of it's a man against women. No, honor killing is women are involved in killing women too. And I think it's very important to raise the consciousness of women in terms of being showing solidarity with each other and protecting each other at the same time as families must step in and protect these women when they are really, really in need of protection.
Certainly a complex issue that will take some time, no doubt, as well. But thank you so much again for your very precious time there, Farwha. Very important work you're doing, Farwha Nielsen, there for us.